So you guys want to know the best way to recruit, to get a good recruiting class? Let me not waste your time and get right into it. So one of the most important things I don't see a lot of people talking about is actually in the coach abilities. So the first thing you want to do is actually go into a coach abilities. We don't have anything unlocked, we don't have any tokens to actually upgrade anything. But if you do, you want to go into the recruiter tab in all of your coaches, because as you can see, quarterbacks take less time to fully scout, running backs take less time to fully scout. The first one is always they take less time to scout. So instead of using about 50 hours trying to actually scout them and seeing if they're actually good enough to keep on your recruiting class, it would only take about 20, I found out. And if you get all the way to the bottom, a lot of times, I don't know what actually causes it, but I've actually had players come fully scouted already, so I didn't even have to waste hours on them. However, you can still see that recruiting actions have bigger impacts on quarterbacks, increase weekly recruiting hours for quarterbacks. So instead of having 50 hours to actually recruit them, you have 65 or 75, and increase the starting interest from quarterbacks, which is very, very big. And it's the same thing for all of these. Lock Elite Recruiter is gonna take you a while, so don't even worry about that at the moment, unless you actually fire your offensive and defensive coordinators during the conference championship week and actually get better ones that already have these unlocked. You can actually go into your offensive and defensive coordinator and you can actually see that they have the same exact things that you can do. So you also want good offensive and defensive coordinators and a good head coach, because that's going to help you tremendously. So let's get into the actual board and what I do. So the first thing you guys want to do is you can actually set up your starting pipeline in your alma mater. I'm not sure if your alma mater actually goes into your pipeline, but you can still do a pipeline. So say for example, if I'm in Michigan, I know dogs come from Cali, some dogs come from Georgia, some Ohio. So what I would personally do is an area that you think a lot of dogs are going to come from, make that your pipeline, because you're going to actually have an easier time recruiting players from that. So you can see the pipeline right here, and your pipeline influence level ranges from 0 meaning no boost to 4 or 5 being an exceptional boost. The most I have right now is a 4 pipeline boost, and this deals with a variety of factors. It deals with your pipeline, it deals with your coach's pipeline of what you set that for, it deals where your school is and the location of that actually gets factored into it. It also deals with how many plays you have from a certain actual area. So say for example, you recruit a lot of Florida people or a lot of Georgia high school prospects, those will actually start getting added into your pipeline, and you'll have a bigger pipeline based off of how many people went there, how many people actually pro developed from your school in those areas, and how many students that you already have actually playing that's from those areas. That gets influenced, and of course your coach abilities and your offensive and defensive coach abilities all factor into your pipeline. Again, having a full pipeline influence level helps you tremendously. So what I do is, a lot of people would just actually start going through here and possibly like just adding players, but again, you're gonna have a lot of trouble getting some of these players, especially if you're a lower tier school. 3-star, you might be able to actually get some of them. As you can see, like this top 28th ranked quarterback is 6 inches to me, so I could possibly actually get into this fight. As you can see, like I don't know what my influence level is, but like just looking at it, I could possibly get into the race for that. But I typically always do, and I don't see a lot of people doing this, you can hit triangle and you can actually filter down these prospects tremendously. So what I always do is I go to interest in your school, top 5. This is going to allow me to actually see players that already have me in their top 5 and that I can actually do a race in. So for example, I need a quarterback, I'm going to go here. I need a wide receiver, I'm going to go here. There's 5th interest in me, 3rd interest in me, 5th interest in me. Again, we're just going to add some players. Honestly, you have 35 targets that you can add and 35 scholarships. However, I don't recommend using all of those right away. Honestly, just use about 15, maybe 20. Honestly, we're probably just going to go with the, I would say, all of these 4-star off the rip. So we're probably just going to go with all of these 4-star. We're just going to add all of these, and once I actually get my prospect list together, I'll be back. So we have about 21 recruits on my list, and the first thing that I actually do is one, you can actually go through and see if you actually have a fighting chance of getting this. So the quarterback, I have a fighting chance. Wide receiver, I have a fighting chance. Tight end, I have a fighting chance. Right outside linebacker. So all of these, for the moment, I have a fighting chance. If you don't have a fighting chance on them, honestly, I would just say remove them. Don't even waste hours on this. Like this right here, this wide receiver, realistically, I'm right there, but like he really wants to go to Nebraska. So honestly, I don't feel like we have a fight in it, so there's really no reason to actually try to waste hours. And Ohio State, and he's from Ohio, so he's probably going to go to Ohio. So honestly, I'm just going to remove him from my list. That's what I recommend you guys doing. Don't waste time on stuff that you don't have to. Also, what I found out is if you offer somebody a scholarship and then you remove them from your draft board, you can actually get that scholarship back. However, the thing is too, you also gotta remember this. This is very, very, very important. If somebody verbally commits to your school, it's gonna show in this recruiting board. Do not remove them from your recruiting board until they sign. Just keep them on there. It literally does nothing keeping them on there. But if you remove them, it removes them from your recruiting board. It removes their scholarship and they will commit elsewhere. Don't make the same mistake that my friend made. Trust me, keep them on this recruiting board until they are actually on your team. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to go through and we're actually going to just scout some of these players. And once I scout, I'll be back. All right, so we just got done scouting everybody that we actually wanted to scout, and this is another big thing that I go through. You want to find your gems and your busts. You'll be able to actually determine if somebody is a gem by that green gem right there. If they have a gem, that means that they are actually better than what they're projected. So he's projected to be a 4-star, so he'll probably be a 5-star more than likely. However, if you get the red gem and you have an X on the gem, that means he's a bust. So instead of a 4-star, he's actually going to be more like a 3-star. Me personally, unless you really like the stats and the attributes on the guy, I just recommend don't even waste any time on him. Literally remove him from your draft board. And what I typically do is honestly the gems I want first, unless it's a 5-star that I already know that I want the gem. So this quarterback though, it looks kind of like a dog, 92 throw power, 81 speed, and has abilities. So what we're probably going to do is we're in this race. So sometimes I'll send the house if I need to. Right now, I don't think I need to send a house, but one, we're going to offer a scholarship to everybody. You want to make sure you get scholarships on all your recruits so they don't go elsewhere or think that you're flaking on them. So in the first week of the preseason, when you're first starting off, you actually can't do anything. We have 65 hours left. I could possibly add more recruits to my board, but we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to sim and we're going to get to the next step of what I do. So this is when we actually get some hours that we can actually do stuff with players. So we have 600 hours. And this is where we go to what are we going to do with these players. So none of them is in the top 5 right now. He's in the top 8, but we really can't do anything right now. We can't schedule a visit or anything. We're just in the top 8, which is pretty good still. So he's a gem. So again, I'm not too worried. He's a 4-star and we're winning this race. So me personally, I'm only going to put 25 on him. And the reason is because again, we have a good enough lead on the other team that I believe that we could still get this dude. If it comes a little bit closer, then we'll actually probably put some more time on him. But again, guys, time is crucial in this. So again, this is a race. So right now what we're going to do is we have the hours to actually do this. We're going to send a house on this dude. And what we're going to do, again, like I said, we're going to check what position we are in this race. If it's a close race, how bad we really want them. And we're going to determine if we send a house or we just contact our friends and family. So I'm going to do that real quick. So players have narrowed down to the top 8, but again, they haven't narrowed down to the top 5. We have nobody that narrowed down to the top 5. There's nothing else that we can do at the moment. We're just going to make sure that we're still in a race with a lot of these players. If there's somebody that's like running away with the lead, we're not even going to waste hours. Like this right in right here, Honestly, North Carolina is probably going to get them. We can save those out. We're just going to go through, make sure that we're still in a race with a lot of players. And honestly, we really are, besides this free safety. All right, guys, so this is a big thing that I don't see people doing. Once they actually reach the top 5, there's 2 things that you want to do. You want to schedule a visit as soon as you can, because if you don't, it may coincide with your actual home games if they actually start getting scheduled to other teams. So honestly, we're probably just going to schedule him for Ohio State. And honestly, he likes coach prestige and conference prestige. So you, whatever one's the best, you actually want to do that activity when he gets there. So we're going to do that. And on the topic of what they like, there's certain things you can do. So right now we don't have everything that we can do. However, what I learned is that there's something called a perfect pitch. Every prospect has their perfect pitch. What a perfect pitch is. So let's actually remove send the house. And what we're going to do is, because we have some pretty good gauge, we're going to hard sell. You can either sway, hard sell, or soft sell. Soft sell is ideal if, say for example, if you had coach prestige, athletic facilities, and conference prestige, but say athletic facility just was maybe a B- or a C. You don't want to hard sell it because you don't have like a really good grade on all of those things. So I would soft sell it just in case he doesn't like that sell. It doesn't hurt you as much. But if I have good things and I'm confident that he'll like this, then I'm gonna hard sell it. How you know what they like is as you actually sim, you unlock more and more details about them, so you can actually see all this stuff. However, they're only ever gonna have 3 check marks. And again, like I said before, there's always a perfect pitch. So there will always be a time where all 3 check marks align. So we don't have his 3rd check mark. So what could we do? One of the things we could do is actually check the deal breaker, coach prestige. So we know that's one of them. However, we already have that unlocked. However, there's an easier way. Again, like I said, out of all of these choices, their perfect pitch is going to be aligned every single time. So we got to find what coach prestige, conference prestige, and something else is aligned. However, we see this one right here, coach prestige, conference prestige, and proximity to home is 1. However, he already has an X for proximity to home. So now we're just using process of elimination. We know that that's not it. Is there another one where there's 3 things together? As you can see, athletic facilities, coach prestige, and conference prestige is it. So his 2nd check mark is more than likely athletic facilities. However, let's just double check and make sure that there's not a 3rd option that has all 3 combined, and there's not. So we already know that his last check mark is more than likely athletic facilities. We can take that gamble and we can actually hard sell him that. So that is a really good pitch right there. So again, we're not going to soft sell him, we're going to hard sell him because I'm confident in this hard sell. So we're going to do that real quick. So we're going to hard sell him on that. A time where you would use sway, which it could be OP, is if you read, it says, if successful, this will add your chosen ideal pitch as the recruit's ideal pitch for your school only. Easier to say when part of the proposed pitch matches the recruit's ideal pitch. So say for example, you had this right here. I know there was one where it had both of those together. So right here, proximity to, he doesn't care about this at all. He doesn't care about the proximity to the home, but we can sway him into actually caring about this ideal pitch. So this could be good if we actually had bad athletic facilities and we wanted to try to actually get this one. We could sway him, and if it works, he would actually have a 4th check mark, which would be proximity to home, and we can actually then hard sell him on this. However, again, we don't need to sway him because we actually have his ideal pitch really good. So again, we're going to prove yourself on that, and then we're going to DM the play because we still have hours, as you can see. So we're using 50 right here, and we have the visit schedule, so that's all we can do. And again, that's all you're going to want to do. Like I said, guys, you're going to want to schedule a visit as soon as you can, and then also you want to actually schedule complimentary visits, so we can actually schedule this right guard to actually meet with the quarterback, because again, he's probably going to want to actually meet his quarterback, and the quarterback is going to be happy. So if we win and they meet each other and we both actually do amazing pitches, then we're probably gonna get the guy. Like, there's a good chance that like a lot of other teams aren't gonna get him, and we're gonna actually be in that race. That's really all you guys want to do for all of your plays. You want to make sure you stay in the race. You want to scout them. If you have any gems, definitely move them up and prioritize those gems, especially if they're 4-star gems, because they're basically 5 stars. Also, you really want to focus on giving everybody a scholarship once you actually scout them, just so they don't actually lose interest in you because you didn't give them a scholarship. And another big thing is you want to remove them off your board if they're a bust, or if you're not in the race, or if you just don't like their stats, because you do not want to waste your hours. Hours are very, 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 very crucial week per week, because having those extra hours can be the difference between getting a recruit and not getting a recruit. And like I said, some of the biggest things to do is make the top 5, and then as soon as you do, schedule a visit as soon as you can to a game that you can possibly win, that you know that there's like a definite you're gonna win. If you're not sure if you're gonna win, if there's no games that you're like a definite yes on, then just schedule them for a very hard game, because even if you lose and they're not gonna care that much, but if you win, they're gonna care a lot. Schedule complimentary visits, and again, get their ideal pitch. Every prospect is only gonna have 3 check marks unless you sway to add extra ones. And definitely soft sell or hard sell prospects, because that's going to be the nail in the coffin and allow you to get those players. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comment section, because I answer every question, I answer every comment, and I love interacting with you guys and helping you guys. And if there's a lot of questions or different things, I can make another video going more into detail about what you guys need. I love you guys to the moon and back. This has been your boy Formula Cosmos. I'm out. Peace.